Morning. Today is February 28th. It is 6:37 in the AM and I'm Beth and this is my box. Hi. Welcome. Uh got a late start today cuz it's Friday and things happen and that's just the way it goes. So that's all right. So yesterday I went and I changed my tags to the car of my stepbrother who passed away last year. Finally got to get that done because I relied on my other stepbrother, who was the executor of the will, to get the paperwork done and it transferred into his name so then he could give it to me. It was easier than having him come up here because he lives in a next door neighbor state. It's just easier having done it the way that he did it. So anyway, I had to tell the backstory of why it was so long before we transferred the title over into my name instead of leaving it like it was, kind of thing. Apparently, a year is a little pushing it, but the tags expired today, so I needed to get it done. And I had to take off of work to do it, but whatever, it's done. So, because that's what I was doing, and the car meant a great deal to my stepbrother who passed on, um, he bought that car a while back, brand new when he bought it. At that time, due to his medical conditions, he could still walk. And it's a little coupe car. It's a Cobalt. If you know what a Cobalt is, Cobalt. So it's a two-door and it's got a big door as far as the breadth in which when you open it, it reaches really far. It's a big daggone door. And it's more set up and geared towards somebody who's younger. And when he bought it, he was younger and he could walk. By the end of his existence here on the earthly plane, as it were, he couldn't walk. There was one year in which he was bedridden for a year because of a sore that he had on his backside. And so when I went to transfer the title over into my name, hold on. That was a different coworker, and he came over and waved and stuck his tongue out at me. There's some enjoyment in this job, and it's generally the people I work with because they can be just as silly as I can. I can be just as mean as I can, but still, on the good days, it's everybody just saying, hey, what's going on kind of thing, and being silly. Excuse me. Anyway, so yesterday I went and I changed the tags to the car so that it would officially be in my name, and I had to replace the tags and all of that. Well, because this car meant a lot to my stepbrother, in the process of, I took care of everything at the DMV, but then in the process of driving home with it finally being in my name, I guess because the car meant so much to him, and because of one of you could say it's an affliction or a blessing or a curse, whatever it is you want to classify it as. It's just a thing that happens to me. Not necessarily on a regular, but it's definitely there. So what I'm trying to say is my dead stepbrother decided to have a conversation with me in the car, which was lovely because I missed him. I still miss him, even though he pretty much just hibernated in his room. It was his choice to hibernate. It wasn't like he was on lockdown or something. So he decided he wanted to have a conversation. And as I'm talking to him, it doesn't look like I look like a nutter when I'm doing it because there's nobody there. I just hear it in my head. So, on one aspect, it can look like, okay, she's just making up this conversation in her head. And that's not it at all. He, like all things, when people don't understand something and then they do, it's like a poof, a big mental awareness kind of thing. And it happens to people even when they're dead, okay? And having the conversation with him, he's like, he told me he never knew that I could do this or that it was a possibility. And I told him I know. Nobody thinks that this is real. They just think that I'm crazy. And this sweet dead guy is like apologizing to me in our conversation. And I was like, there's nothing for you to apologize about. I get it. It doesn't make any sense. You don't You couldn't have known. I could have told you, but telling you is not going to do anything for you because you're not going to believe me. The only time you're going to believe me is when you pass on. And then what does that do? Kind of like when my mom finally passes over to the other side, she's going to realize she was wrong and that I was right. But again, what good does that do? Oh. And no, I don't talk to everyday regular people who pass on unless they're extraordinarily loud and want to make a point. But again, it doesn't solve anything. And I try for the most part to shut people out that I don't know trying to come in and say whatever it is they want to say because I don't know them. Justin was part of my family, so he is closer to my heart than some stranger walking on the street, which makes it easier to have a conversation with him because we know each other. I can't share this with my family because they already think I'm crazy. And I just don't feel like accentuating their viewpoints with something that sounds crazy. Anyway, I thanked him for his car. I told him I missed him. Because I do. Goofy. I mean, he was with me from since I was like 13. That's about the time that my mom married my stepfather. And they became he had two kids, two sons in his previous marriage. So, there was the mom had custody of the boys, but there was visitation and all of that. So me and my brother would or did make friends with the two stepbrothers. And it's ironically funny in a sad kind of way because my stepbrothers came up with a nickname for my brother, which was Supreme White Being. And now that you see all this MAGA crap going on, it is so Supreme White Being. And it's disturbing. It's disgusting. There's something wrong with you guys. You're so insecure that you have to braggadocio and say you're better than you are. No, dude. Damn. Anyway. According to astrologers, there are a lot of planets lining up doing their kind of planet lining up thing, which apparently is a rare event. Even though it does happen, it happens like every 150 years, 150 years or so. But tonight is also the new moon before we have the eclipse in March. I think it's March 14th, 13th to 14th, which is kind of cool because then that's Pi Day, 314. Um, so that's interesting. It's also the Ides of March, if you know anything about your Roman history. So, anyway, yeah. So it's Friday. I have today and tomorrow, and then I have my 3 day off stint. But, yeah. So I figured I'd just drop a note or a video here honoring my stepbrother, Justin, who has passed on. And I'm crying because I miss him. And that's all. You know what I mean? And because now he knows. I'm grateful he knows and recognizes it now, but again, it doesn't do a whole lot of good for me. In the real world, as far as living people, whatever. It's my little world. So today's Friday, and we're just going to go with it and enjoy it for what it is. All right. I want y'all to take care of each other. Remember, don't buy anything today because those corporate big shot bullshit artists don't need your money. You need your money. So don't buy anything today, okay? All right. Remember to take care of each other. Watch Louis Daniels Favors, Pissed Off Bartender, and Big Sarge with Sons of Liberty. If you need some guidance on what to watch or who to give you some advice of what's going on in the world, okay? Stay informed, but don't get bogged down by the bullshit that they're trying to serve up because that's all it is bullshit. Russian idiot cheater in chief doing Russian cheater in chief things. Anyway, again, take care of each other because that's all we got. Peace out for now, okay?